What's the soup, guys? Welcome back. I'm sure by now you're all very well aware they brought direwolves back from extinction. And honestly, I am amazed. I never thought that this would happen in my lifetime. I definitely had it clocked and in my radar, but never did I think that this was going to be something that happened while I was alive. But fuck it, here we are now, and this is our reality. I remember a couple years back reading about them trying to bring back a woolly mammoth again, like everything on the internet. I took it with a grain of salt and just assumed it was probably happening somewhere in China on an undisclosed location and that it was never going to see the light of day. But to bring those of you that are unaware up to speed, there's a company called Colossal Biosciences, and they brought two direwolves back from the dead. One's from like a 13,000-year-old bone and the other one's from a 72,000-year-old ear canal bone. By comparing like the DNA of modern day gray wolves and the direwolf's DNA, and then based on that they were able to, I don't quite get it. I'm sure there are people who are much better at explaining this than I, so go check them out and listen to them and not me. But basically they brought these two wolves back from extinction. One's called Remus and the other one's Romulus, which, if you're not aware, the two kids who founded Rome and were raised by a mother wolf. That's why if you go to Rome, the emblem is a wolf feeding two kids or two children from her teat. I think that's a fucking sick name for these two wolves. Super symbolic, historic even. I just finished watching Succession for the second time. And I love that Logan calls Roman Romulus all the time. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I just like that. Nothing to do with this story, but I just finished watching Succession. Check it out, those who haven't watched. Back to the story. They're in an undisclosed location, being taken care of by scientists and veterinarians, and they apparently have a big space for them to roam. Time magazine did a whole article on them, so you should check that out. You can see them running. Amazing. It's the first time in over 10,000 years or something like that that Earth has heard direwolf howl, which is poetic and sick and just every fucking kid's dream. These two wolves are happy. Romulus and Remus, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, probably not, I'm sure someone will tell me, are happy. And it didn't take long for these scientists to shit the bed because they decided to name the sister Khaleesi. Khaleesi? Okay, I get it. Yeah, there's gonna be 1,000,001 Game of Thrones references. There's gonna be 1,000,001 Jurassic Park references. But if you're gonna name one of the wolves after a Game of Thrones reference, it shouldn't be Khaleesi. Khaleesi's the mother of fucking dragons. And excuse my nerd, but this isn't even a fucking reptile. You could have named her Sansa. You could have named her Arya. You could have named her after their direwolves, Lady or Nymeria. Anything that resembles the direwolves in Game of Thrones. And the direwolves, as we all know, belong to the north.
And winter is coming.
More specifically, the Starks. It's their house emblem. They botched it, and whoever named the poor wolf Khaleesi deserves to be stripped of the ability to name anything else ever in their life, because that sucked. Anyway, Colossal Biosciences is bringing back the woolly mammoth by 2028. They're bringing back the dodo bird and the Tasmanian tiger, which sick. And I'm sure there are a bunch of other animals in line to be resuscitated or de-extinctified. I don't know what the word is. I'm not here to repeat what's already been said, but to make a case for those lesser appreciated animals that I think should come back to life, just based off of vibes. Because I know people are gonna make the case for saber-toothed tigers and that squirrel from Ice Age or sloth from Ice Age, because those are just fan favorites. But I'm here to give the unsung heroes their time in the daylight. So I'm going to talk about 3 animals that in my opinion are underdogs and should be brought back to life based on vibes alone. So Colossal Biosciences, if you're taking requests like a karaoke, these are my suggestions. First off on my list is the this weird giraffe-camel thing. I think it's fucking sweet. I think it's cool. I think it definitely represents me as a vibe. It should definitely come back. But it shouldn't just come back and be left out in the wild. Camels are doing a great job right now. So are giraffes. So what are we gonna do with these weird camel-giraffe things? Well, it's simple. We replace them with racehorses. And here's my opinion. We put jockeys on them, and we have everyone who bets on racehorses now bet on these camel giraffe alpaca things. And sure, I know what you're thinking, Gabe, what? No, we don't even know if they run fast. They don't run fast, but they can use their long necks as weapons. You can knock another jockey out. You just know these camels bite. These camel giraffe things bite. So you can use a weapon. You can introduce an attack element into these races. Imagine how much more interesting these races would be and how much more money people would spend to watch this instead of horse races. Pretty cool, right? Second on my list, Quinkana. And for those of you who are unaware, Quinkana is a horse crocodile. It's exactly how it sounds. It's a crocodile that can run on 4 feet. It can gallop on land and is super fucking fast. It can catch you underwater and on land too. There's no running away from this. They were bigger than modern day saltwater crocodiles, which currently are the largest living members of the Crocodilia family, which nice, right? You're not safe from them on land either. Here's a photo of them. Imagine that, but now imagine them being able to gallop next to you on a horse. And here's my suggestion. Just like last time, you're thinking, okay, well, where are these gonna go? Are you putting these in Australia? In the Serengeti? No. Florida. Putting these guys in Florida. Of course we're putting them in Florida. Imagine how entertaining the Florida Man news articles would be if Florida Man gets to meet this alligator from hell. Imagine just the love stories. Because this is basically the wingless dragon from Shrek. Someone's gonna find love, especially in Florida. I'm sure these Floridians are gonna find a way to make these swamp puppies into a transportation method. I think it's pretty good. And it gives me another excuse never to go to Florida. Not that I go a lot, but just another reason to keep clear. And finally, my number 1 pick. And I know what you're thinking, Gabe, what? No, Gabe, what a boring choice. Don't you know 23andMe already made a study saying that a large percentage of the population already has Neanderthal DNA in them. And I know, I have a lot of friends who definitely seem like they have Neanderthal DNA in them. And I love them very much, but I want a purebred Neanderthal coming back to life. And for those of you who don't know, Neanderthals were living among us at the same time during the Ice Age, but it's widely debated whether humans killed them off or just they died off. They tended to travel in smaller packs. Eventually, that was not a great survival strategy. But it is said from different studies that they were a lot more pacifists than human. They were a lot more resistant. Their bone and muscle density was a lot higher than ours, meaning that they were a lot stronger and could lift heavier and could take a lot more damage. Their way of hunting was just to literally throw themselves at the animal and wrestle them down to the ground, whereas again we would chase them down, eventually wearing them down. The animal would fall and we would kill and eat them. They would fucking throw themselves at these animals. Imagine that today. Again, they were widely considered to be more pacifistic, traveled in smaller groups, meaning they were probably introverted and prone to anxiety. I think we can all relate to that. Let's picture one of these fellows in Berlin in Berghain and them just tripping on every magical powder on earth, or in any surf town in the world, Puerto Escondido, Hawaii, Australia, and them just sinking to the ground like French bulldogs, so they have to wear floaties. That's fucking cute. Or imagine them just going to a pretentious coffee shop and ordering a nut milk alternative on their latte. That would be precious. There'd be hipster Neanderthals, there'd be sport Neanderthals, there'd be obnoxious Neanderthals, there'd be cool Neanderthals. And hey, why don't we give them the opportunity to take over leadership? We're not doing a great job at it, so fuck it, let's just let these guys take us on a ride. And also there's the whole Olympic aspect. Imagine them competing in the Olympics. I mean, it'd be hilarious in a lot of things. Anything involving speed or height, like basketball, would be hilarious because Neanderthals were very small. I think it would be like, I don't know if you've ever watched that women's basketball game between the US and El Salvador. That's what I imagine it would be. Imagine a Neanderthal going up against LeBron James, or a Neanderthal running against Usain Bolt. Hilarious. I mean, I know Usain Bolt's retired, but you get the gist of it. Imagine them just crushing us on absolutely anything strength related. Any weightlifting competition, bye. They got it in the bag. Anything wrestling, oh my God, they would fold us like origami. They used to take on woolly rhinos. Those things are probably more aggressive than current day rhinos. I would never get in the path of a modern day rhino. Or imagine sumo wrestling with Neanderthals. That would be sick. Wow. I mean, that alone should be a reason to bring them back. That's my take. Jokes aside, I think that what this company is doing is amazing. It's not only for bringing back extinct animals, but in anything that means conservation of current day endangered animals. Anything that's trying to keep the vaquita marina alive is already a win for me. I want want to see those guys everywhere. And for those of you that don't know what a vaquita marina is, here it is. Here's a picture. Gorgeous. I need one at home. I need one to cuddle with at night. And I'm all for what this company's doing. I think that there's a lot of good that can come from this. Obviously, there's all the scary things that can come from this, but I choose to see the positive. And hey, technically it's still the Ice Age, so anyone that left the party early, welcome back to the lobby. And I'm sure you've realized, if you're coming back to my channel, that I haven't uploaded in a while. And that's simply just because